Badger Prairie Needs Network is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to fight hunger and the root causes of generational poverty. We started 29 years ago in the basement of Salem United Church of Christ here in Verona. It started out as a small parish project to help feed families that would knock on the door asking for some assistance. Since that time it's grown exponentially. In the first year they were serving 75 individuals. Today, actually prior to moving into this new location, we served on average about 680 individuals, which at that time seemed like a lot to us, but in the last 2 months those numbers have grown incredibly large. In October, 1,150. This last month, just about 1,200. We're thinking this is the new norm. I think it's complicated. I think the reasons that people search out food assistance is because they know about us now. That's the first thing. We created a lot of awareness through our capital campaign to raise funds to move into this building. I think that city governments are letting their families know that there is help available. We're doing a lot more what you call marketing to get the word out, talking to folks like yourself. And the need is great, and it's not going to go away, I don't think. Well, prior to August, we were in the basement of the former Verona Public Library. If people know that facility, it's about 50 years old. When the library moved out to go into their new location, pretty much the basement area was left without any kind of maintenance ongoing wise. Very little airflow, no temperature control, a little bit of mold. Not terribly accessible, had a few steps to get up and down, so it was difficult for people with mobility issues. We were limited in space, so we had just a 2-door refrigerator that during shifts we would run out of milk and we'd have to run over to the local grocery store and buy milk to replenish just to feed the families that showed up that night. So there were all kinds of logistic problems with that space, and it also became a food safety issue in terms of air quality. So now that we've moved into this space, we've tripled our overall space. We're now in a 7,500 square foot building that we are leasing from Dane County. And Dane County has been extraordinarily generous. We're renting this space for up to 25 years for $20 a year. And so our capital campaign put $420,000 into this building to make it just perfect for the needs network and the services that we wanted to provide. So the food pantry has tripled in size, which allowed us opportunities then to widen the aisles so that we can get people through the pantry much quicker. And that's very important. Even though we've increased our hours from 8 hours a week to 23 hours a week, more and more families coming means that we've got to get things done very efficiently. So doubling the width of the aisle lets 2 grocery carts up and down at one time. We also have cleared out all of the high sodium, high sugar things out of the pantry to make it a lot healthier, more nutritious food being offered. We were in a competition right around this time last year, Christmas time, and Walmart was doing a holiday food pantry makeover contest. It was an online voting contest. You had to get votes over the period of 3-4 weeks, and the groups with the highest votes would get $25,000. Well, little Verona Food Pantry placed 13th in the nation. So thank you everybody watching this, because I think a lot of folks from Fitchburg voted for us. That helped us build a walk-in refrigerator freezer unit, and that's really opened the doors for us in terms of cost-effective purchasing. We're able to bring our cost per unit down to next to nothing. We're also able then to buy in bulk from Second Harvest. Second Harvest can sell us meat for 18 cents a pound. In the past we could never take advantage of that, and now with this excess freezer space, refrigerator space, we can keep food safe for consumption as well as buy in bulk. So part of our strategy was to become healthier across the board. Nutrition is such a huge part of living a good life. So we had community gardens here in Verona, the Badger Prairie Community Garden. We planted a large garden there that we provide organic produce here to the pantry. We also were able, through the generosity of a sponsor, to put in 7 pantry gardens for families where they could learn how to garden, become more self-sustaining, which was also part of the mission. Along with that, UW clinics here in Verona put in a 40 by 40 foot garden in their front yard, and staff gardened it all summer long, and the proceeds, the harvest from that garden came here. Early in the spring, we did a program with Jung's Garden Center called Plant a Row for the Hungry. And we signed up 130 home gardeners to plant one extra row, and Jung's provided a packet of seeds to help that along. And we ended up with so much wonderful, fresh, beautiful produce here that we actually ended up setting up this table that I'm in front of to provide extra produce to families in between visits to the pantry. So we put in a commercial kitchen facility. It's called the Prairie Kitchen. And we put the kitchen in for 3 strategic reasons. One was nutrition education. We partner with UW Extension, and they send in a nutrition educator to provide free classes for pantry patrons to learn how to use pantry food more effectively, more nutritiously, and even more enjoyably. So we run those classes for 8-week sessions. We also have a senior cooking club that is organized by a dietitian at Hy-Vee and co-taught by some of the doctors at both the Belleville and the Verona UW Health Clinic. We have 16, 17 seniors that come in and do that class. It's once a month. They do lunch. They talk about nutrition, some of the changes in diet, those kinds of things. So it's educational, but it's also fun that they come out of isolation, maybe living alone, and spend the afternoon with some new friends.